welcome to Chuck's Corner, a place we hope you keep coming back again and again. I got my coffee with me today. That's very important. We'll put this down here. And I have a very special topic to talk to everybody about today. It's dealing with battery-operated toys. Now, we all love these things. When we were kids, we would go to the local Woolworths. Well, here in Pittsburgh anyway, I'd go to G.C. Murphy's. There was Murphy's and Woolworths. I'd go into there was a section where they had the battery-operated toys. They came in a little box. You lifted the box and it had usually a character, like a person that would move, would do something, or an animal like a bear or a dog, and you put batteries in it. And little did we know, the older we got, these would become very collectible. I mean, who would have thought it? I mean, after all these years. But anyway, anything prior to 1970, pre-1970, tin toys, those are called vintage. And they're worth quite a bit of money. I mean, if you check on collection sites, you can see what these things are worth. And if you have the original box, it actually almost doubles the value. All right. So here's a couple of things that I have in my own personal collection, which still work. And I'm going to explain how to maintain these things, how to actually, if they do not work, what to do. All right. So let me begin by showing you. This is one of my favorite here. This is called Good Time Charlie. Now, he probably goes back to the late 50s. What's cool about it, he's sitting on a trash can next to a lamppost with a cigar in one hand and a fifth of whiskey in his other hand. So when you throw the switch, there he's drinking. His face lights up. He'll take a puff of the cigar and smoke comes from his mouth. And I love the toe. I love this feet tapping. All right, that's Good Time Charlie. It's an excellent, excellent toy. Okay, now let me turn them off and I'm going to explain a couple things. Just in case your particular toy or item doesn't smoke, what that is the same fluid. It's glycerol that comes with your HO trains. If you go to a hobby store and you get the smoking fluid, that's what it is. Now there's a little teeny tiny hole here. You probably won't be able to drip it in too good. What I do is get a hypodermic needle, like a syringe. You place it in the container and you pull back and you just inject maybe a couple drops. Because inside there's a glow plug that lights up. It's nichrome wire. All right, now he's a multi-function one, as you see. His arm raises, he puffs, he blows smoke, he drinks. The light posts come on. His leg is tapping. Really, really cool. And down below, here's the batteries. It holds 2 D batteries. Most of them do hold D batteries. Just in case you do get a used toy and it doesn't work, and yet the battery holder is clean like this. One of the major problems, not all the time, but a lot of the time, is corroded terminals. So if you get sandpaper and you sand these down inside as well. Now when you sand this particular one with like a clip, there's one down there too, it'll bend in a little bit. You want to pull it back out because you want these batteries to make as much contact as possible. That's very, very important. Okay, so that's the first one. That's an old one. That's one of the older ones, Good Time Charlie. All right, and here's the D batteries because we'll be using them for some other stuff as we go along. All right, here we go. This is really cool here. This is a guy that drinks. Now I have a little bit of water. I'm going to step out of camera here for a second, and I have a little glass of water here. And let's see here. We're gonna pour some water down inside. All right. And if I throw the switch on him, watch what happens. Whoop! Get this out of the way. So actually, drink the water, and he'll pour it back in. Watch. All the way up. And he'll pour it back in. Really, really cool. Okay, he can get a little messy though. That's why it's good to have a napkin around. And you can empty it back out. What it is on here is there's a continuous loop. There's a hose inside. It goes from one arm to the other. It's like a tube. Now those things do corrode. All right, now sometimes his motions aren't quite as exaggerated as they should be. What I'd recommend is what I did already. You have to take them apart. There's these little tabs that you have to take apart and you're going to get to the motor and you spray some WD-40 in there and you work his arm back and forth, okay, and it'll actually loosen up a bit. All right, so that's another problem. You may have a frozen gear. If you have a frozen gear, it's a gear that has been set. It's been in a closet. These toys have been in a basement or a closet for like 50 years. All right. I mean, if we sat somewhere for 50 years, we'd be frozen too, right? So anyway, you're going to get to the motor. You're going to take the whole thing apart. There's little tabs. There's metal tabs. You're going to gently open them up. You're going to spray some WD-40. Okay. It could also be a loose wire. That's another issue. It could be a loose wire, a frozen gear, or a corroded terminal. That's really basically it, because these things are pretty simple. The circuitry is not very complex. All right, that's the second toy I wanted to show you, folks. The third one's kind of cool. This is a piggy chef. All right, and he's kind of cool. He has little eggs. There's eggs on one side, and there's little sausage on the other. All right, now we'll put him over here. This table's a little crooked. And I'm going to see if he can do his stuff here. Let me turn him on. There you go. And we're going to try two. Sometimes he can do it. Sometimes he can't. We'll see. All right. Missed one. Try it again. Okay, he got it. All right, again, this is a multifaceted toy. The burner, the stove lights up. He dumps Tabasco sauce. His head lights up and so forth. He flicks the, like I said, he makes easy over eggs on one side and ham on the other. So eggs and hammy. All right, but it's kind of cute. This goes back to probably I'm not sure, but I would say maybe the mid-60s, somewhere in that area. Okay, now what occurred to me is you could probably use these things to do a magic trick. Why not? Me being a magician. So throughout the years, I came up with a couple of different methods. And I'm not going to show you the actual method, but I'll show you the outcome. This is one of my favorite here. This is Crapshooter. All right. He's by Marks, I believe. Most of these toys were by the Marks company or Linmar. All right, and I put him in a little display thing. He's actually kind of cool. All right, what I'm going to do here is we're going to show some dice. And you could have a spectator select any two. It doesn't matter. And the other ones you're going to place aside. And you're going to roll them. Have them roll them to show it favors no points. Here we have double sixes. That's pretty unusual. Here we have a 2 and a 1. Okay, so they favor no points. Here we have another 2 and a 1. Mix it up again. There's a 6 and a 2. So I think you get the idea. You get a deck of playing cards, and you can show them they're all different. Okay, I could cut them. You could shuffle them. Do what you want. Have a spectator touch one. Now I'll just touch one. It doesn't matter. Right here. All right, and I'm gonna bring it to the top. Show it to the audience. All right, and in that case, it is the 2 of clubs. Place it back on top and bury it into the pack. Now the card is somewhere toward the middle. We're going to get my friend, Mr. Crankston. We're going to put the dice inside and let him shake it up and throw the dice. Uh-oh, here he goes. All right. We'll turn him off. He has a 6 and a 2. That totals 8. Now he had a free throw of anything. We're going to count 8 cards down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8th card, would it be amazing if it was the selected one? And it happens to be the 2 of clubs. So that's a phenomenal effect that I put together. I kind of thought of it myself. And these can be used for different types of prediction effects. All right. That's the Crankston Crapshooter. All right. Let's see what else we have here. I got a couple off to the side and a few behind me, I believe. Oh, right over here. Okay, this is back when I was a kid. I used to watch Hollywood Squares. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but that was a pretty cool show. And Charlie Weaver was he was in the center box. He was pretty cool. He was actually pretty smart. Look, this even has the original directions on it, so that's in pretty good shape. It even has part of the price tag. which I think it was like $2.98. I mean, one in this condition with a box is probably maybe $200 somewhere around there. Okay, we're going to look inside to make sure the batteries go in properly. All right. There's a little red turnstile thing that goes in the middle. That kind of holds the plate closed. All right, there you go. Now we'll see if he works. I mean, these are old. Sometimes they... Oh, there we go. He's taking a drink. All right, his face turns red. Now there's a faint puff of smoke. I got to put more glycerol in there. You really can't see it too well, but he'll shake it up. Well, he's going to town, man. All right, he pours his mixture, raises it back up. He chews on the ice. Face turns red. Now he should puff smoke. It's real faint, so I have to put some smoking solution in there, which is what I told you about. So that's really no big deal. All right, so we're going to move along. I'm going to show you just a couple more quick things here. All right, we're going to need these batteries again. Okay, I wish I had batteries for every one of these, but I do not. So we have to kind of reuse these things. All right, there's Charlie Weaver. Okay. Moving right along, this is a cool one here. This is an old guy. This is probably going to be me in about 25 years. But the battery terminal is really clean here. We're going to, this one goes positive down. Oh, excuse me, I'm doing it backwards. I should know better. Positive and positive up. And we're going to place it inside, make sure they're secure. Slide the turnstile over. All right, there's a little lever switch here. All right, here we go. He's going to take a puff. He stands up. And he goes back down. Pretty cool. Now, he should exhale some smoke as well, but it's real faint. Again, I have to put some solution in there. But he's an old traveler, okay? And I'm going to stop it right here. He has a little foot locker, which is kind of cool. It has little stickers on it and everything. I mean, you know what? The mechanics in these things are really unbelievable. I mean, really shocking. So you throw, and most of them back in these days, if you notice, they did smoke a lot. Of course, we all found out, and they drank a lot too. And of course, we found out now that it's bad for you. I mean, people are dying of lung cancer, and they're having issues with drinking. So we're going to make them go back down. Oh, he did smoke a little bit. There's a wisp. All right. He'll sit back down. There you go. See if any smoke comes out. It did one time. Okay, that's enough. We're not gonna let you go back up. Okay. Now there's also watchwork toys. Now these are only a few that I brought out. I have much more of these. This is very similar to the piggy. You wind them up. Do not overwind. When it gets a little tight, stop. And we're gonna. There you go. I'll hold them. Whoop. Easy now. There you go. See? Go flip it over. All right. Okay, little piggy. We'll put him over here. And I have another type of a bartender. This is like a bartender, they call it. And there's no on-off switch, so when you wind it, you let it go. All right, he'll drink. He'll shake up his drink. And he'll take a swig of it. Okay. Watchwork is much slower. There's not nearly as much movements as well. Okay, so that's the watchwork version, which is much smaller. And finally, this is really cool. This is a reading bear. He has a little book with different pages. We're going to wind them up. Now watch, he'll actually go through the pages. And he closes it. Pretty cool. Wow. Close it. There is a trick in here somewhere. I haven't thought of it yet, but there is a trick in here. Maybe he could stop at a certain animal or something, and it would be like a prediction type of thing. But this has been a really cool Chuck's Corner, so I hope you've enjoyed yourself. If you like battery or watchwork toys, check them out. They're easy to fix, usually. Okay, but just be careful. Do not buy them with a corroded battery terminal. Make sure that's clean. That's the most important thing. All right, thanks for stopping by, guys.